All right, welcome everyone. We're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we're here for
Nana, episode 47, the
All right.
anime finale.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
We're going to be saying
Here we
goodbye.
We're saying goodbye, and it is going to be the worst goodbye because it's going to be the best goodbye.
Yeah,
And
we're going to be like sitting there like Shoji and Nana just being like, you go first.
Yeah,
No, you go first. No,
right.
no.
I am so happy. I'm convinced
no.
that this is going to be a very happy finale, even though there's that whole thing of Takumi, right? Like, Takumi saying, like, the hints that Takumi might call off the wedding. I'm like, oh, yes, praise the sun. Like, and Blast is, financially doing well, so, like, Hachi will be absolutely taken care of. It's going to be great. It's going to be great. It's going to be great.
It's going to be really good.
Yeah.
I fully expect that they will give us just nice, satisfying bubbles in the background, starlight, exploding fireworks and everything, as our two girls just kind of look at each other, smile, either hold hands or just hug each other or just kind of acknowledge like, hey, tadaima or something.
Here's what I want to see.
Okay,
Hachi recognizes Nana and the other Blast members instantly, even with their disguises.
Mm-hmm. That'd be fucking awesome. Yeah. Now, they are literally going to meet each other.
Right, they know that they're going to be there. Yeah, so it wouldn't quite have the same impact as like, she didn't know that they were going to be there.
Here at this time.
Yeah, exactly, right. It's, yeah.
Where are they?
Do you know where they are?
Yeah, can you spot? No, I think what would be funny is that she immediately, like, susses out, like, specific member of Blast first. So it's not Nana, it's like, Shin! What is...
Okay, that would be kind of adorable, but let's be real. It's going to be Yasu.
Where's Yasu? I have no idea where he is. Like,
oh, right, because he has hair all of a sudden.
Right. Like, he's the one that's
breaks
actually
my
the
whole
hardest to recognize.
See, that's why they had him wear the purple, like, just afro, because then, it's like...
Yeah.
But they're not sticking with that.
Much. No.
That is not what that was not his prescribed disguise.
No, but I love that they made him wear it.
Yep.
And we got that image. Thank you.
Thank you.
But all right, y'all, without further ado, let's get into this.
もし今みんなにもう一度会えたら私はきっとまた甘えてしまう
Snow like that first day.
それが怖くて
But that's
ここから
okay.
動けない
And
That's
they
why
become
you're not alone.
fireworks.
You know?
Yeah.
You can deal with it together.
Oh,
多摩
it's a
川に真夏の花
response.
が咲く707号室でみんなで待ってるよ
Oh!
揃いの浴衣も仕立ててあるよ
Oh!
All right.
Fuck yeah!
My heart is ready.
さつきそんな道草ばかりするなら先行くよ
Ah!
No!
Ah!
No!
あ
大きくて綺麗なの本に載ってた有名な蝶々だよ
You can't do this to us!
What? We time skipped!
黒アゲハだな。
黒アゲハ蝶々じゃないの
いや、
On the glass?
Wait!
あれあれ。最近サツキと話してると昔のシーンを思い出すよ。
なんで
あいつが6歳児レベルだったってことか。
Oh my gosh.
僕がどうしたって
Oh.
しんちゃん素敵よく似合ってる
そうこれどうやって結ぶの
Oh.
Whoa.
今日は年に一度の多摩川の花火大会の日ですみんなどんなに忙しくてもこの日だけは必ずこの部屋に集まってきます
Wow.
同じ痛
I'm
みを
gonna
抱えて
cry. Yeah. Same beer and everything.
こんな昼間から飲んでたら花火まで持たないよしかしいつあっても変わらないねやっさんまるで生きる化石だ
数ヶ月で変わんねえよ。
いややっさんは高校の時からどっこも変わってねえからきっと1000年生きてもそのまんまなんだよ
ノブさんだって別に
He is an eldritch god, yes.
軽くシャワーでも浴びて浴衣に着替えたらはい
おうありがとう軽くと言わずお湯ためて
はいかしこまりましたお坊ちゃま
ねえ今日レンは来ないの
Yeah.
花
Yeah.
火までには来るよ
相変わらずマイペースだなあいつは。
はいさつきこれお土産
I'm really glad we heard that Ren's at least doing okay.
には
ねえよ
Nothing.
ゆめこちゃん 浴衣着てるよ。
Oh! Cute!
ありがとうノブ。私このレトよかったねさつき。おじちゃんにお礼言って。
おじちゃん
Nice old man, yeah.
どうもありがとう。
No. Ah!
I can't.
And we just don't know. We just don't know.
Yeah.
だけど癒えない傷もある。
Yeah, where's Nana?
この部屋はあの頃のまま時間が止まっている。
Oh wait. Yeah, they mentioned when is Ren gonna get here, but they didn't
Right.
mention Nana.
Uh-huh.
Wait, hang on.
Yeah.
ナナ聞いて。実はノブが。
ノブオがどうかした？
No.
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 Don't you
Nana.
dare. Don't you dare.
Called her Nana, not Hachi.
Oh shit.
Whoa.
No. You can't do this.
そんな心配しなくてももう大丈夫だよ。
No.
Don't.
That's
No.
That's
no.
cruel. Don't
no.
you dare.
Don't.
Don't you fucking
You shut
dare.
your damn mouth, show.
しときましたよお坊ちゃま。
Uh-huh.
Wearing two.
Two, yep. Mm-hmm.
ナナ、今も聞いてほしい話がたくさんあるのに、
Okay. That's
この部屋は
That could mean anything.
yeah, I know.
パリが目に映る。
You can't. There are some lines we don't cross, right?
So now do we go back in time to
I think so, yeah.
our firework moment?
Yep.
Here we go. Perfect transition. I understand
just-
perfectly. Okay.
これすごい。
部屋から見えるんなら変装する必要なかったな。
つうかハチ公は
あ
なんで来ねえの？
Why isn't she here?
行くなって言われたのか
Of
も。
course you
Oh,
would say
because
that.
the
あ
whole
の男は花火ごときでゴタゴタ言うたま
she's still like emotionally recovering from the interaction with Shoji.
話せばすっきりすると思ってたのに、庄司の横にいるのが一番居心地よかったこと、今さら思い知った。庄司は恋人である前に友達だったし、わだかまりを捨てれば昔みたいに戻れる気がしたけど、
Oh.
もっと大切にすればよかった。
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where the hell are you?
Yeah.
どうしよう。
Answer
Just
the phone.
answer.
喧嘩者は自重しないとな。
どうしよう。でももう黙ったまま裏切るような真似したくない。いけないならいけないってはっきりそう言わなきゃ。
Yeah.
かく
そうか。早くしろ。花火始まったぞ。
Oh.
私やっぱりいけない。
Damn.
なんかあった？
私ノブに会うのが怖い。
Shit. Oh, okay. This is the beginning of the episode.
大丈夫だ。
Yeah.
ノブオなら来てないよ。
Damn. What a lie.
丹波になっていかねえっつって。ほんとしょぼい男だよな。だからあんたは気にせずさっさと来いよ。シンもヤスも楽しみに待ってんだから。
Wait, that might have.
Yeah.
どこ行くノブオ？
Yeah.
帰るよ。会いたくねえっつってんのに会えねえだろ。
Nah.
と言ってねえよ。あんたに会うのが怖いって。
Right.
ハチはやっぱりあんたに惚れてんだよ。
自分の都合よく解釈するなって。
違うよ、わかるんだよ。
Well,
会ったらまた流されそうな自分が怖い気持ちは私にはよくわかる。もうすぐだよ。 なのに今あんたと元鞘に戻ったらハチは泥沼にはまるよ。怖くて当然だろう。
Oh, shit.
お皿合わねえ方がいいじゃん。
一緒にはまってやれねえのかよ。
What a decision.
もういいよ。あんたは結局元彼に捨てられて巧みにもてあそばれたハチを慰めてやりたかっただけで。
That's come on, Nana.
ほど好きでもなかった。
好きだよ。お前に何がわかる。
でも今は隣の女が好きなんでしょ。あの子私と同じ病気なんだってね。薬飲んでないと仕事も行けないとか。
それがなんだよ。
Yeah, so what?
あんたは昔からさ、自分とは全然関係ない事情で沼にはまってる女を助けてやるのが好きなんだよ。それだと間違いなくヒーローを気取れるもんね。
ナナもうやめ。
Yeah, yeah.
困らそうになったら途端に手を離すのかよ。
ノブさん、ただの挑
Yeah,
発だ。
yeah,
気に
yeah,
することないよ。
yeah, yeah,
Good job, Shin.
yeah.
お気楽な愛情だね。
Fuck.
Well,
I mean, we had a lot of agency for relationship chaos to be brought in this episode, and here we go. First big decisions have been made.
言い方したら、ノブさんがムキになるのは当たり前だ。ハチは今まで以上に苦しむことになるよ。ノブさんは平和主義なんだよ。
That's a cool way to say it.
毎日を送れるように、一番丸く収ま。
そうだな。自分の欲望との戦いだもんな。
you happy, Nana?
The way the music is.
Yeah.
幸せにしてやる。
Yeah. Oh.
And so they left, so it would just be them two?
Yeah.
In some ways, isn't that worse, though?
Yeah.
Like, that's way worse.
Yeah. Is he gonna not answer?
I don't think he'd do that. Not after they left and everything. He wouldn't do that to Hachi. He's scared, too.
You cut away right then? Ow! This hurts!
入って初めてだよ。結構
Ever?
美味しいね。
They're like, oh, right! You're 15!
ずれるだろう。
Oh shit, oh shit, oh shit. Nobu?
もしもし。
しんちゃん、
どうしたの？
マンション着いたけど誰も出ない。
Yep.
しかして先にみんなで花火しちゃった。
Oh, okay.
Yep.
All right.
部屋電気ついてるし、今どこ？しんちゃん。
Yeah, can't lie. Can't lie.
我慢できなくて先に出ちゃったんだ。
He's honoring Shin's decision.
Yep.
I mean, honoring Nobu's decision.
Right, right.
私もすぐそっち行くから。今どの辺で見てる？
Fuck! Wow! I
Okay.
respect Shin so much for doing this,
Yeah.
but also just like,
Yep.
fuck! We were so close to like
Yeah.
horror, but also. Whoa.
Nana, you are awful. The projection is insane.
ほんと綺麗ですね。
やだもう。
なんで私を結婚式に呼んでくれないわけ？ヤスもシンも呼んどいて。
来てくれるの？
当たり前だろ。テントウムシのサンバをパンクバージョンで歌ってやるよ。
D 買ってやるから。お前アレンジしてギター弾け。
絶対幸せになれよな。
Oh,
ノブはあんたの幸せを持って身を引いたんだ。
nice.
Cool.
Yeah.
もあるだろうけど、 俺とあんたがバカなんだからしょうがねえよな。浮気の一つや二つぐらいでもうめげるんじゃねえぞ。気が済むまでぶん殴ってやりゃいいんだよ。
Shit.
原は人で溢れ返っていて、庄司と彼女を見かけることはなかった。とうとう幕が下りたんだと思った。一瞬でもよそ見したらはぐれそうな人並みの中、ナナと手をつなぎたかったけど、
I never let go.
と同じ太陽のその手を無邪気に引き寄せたら無神経だと思われる気がした。
Okay.
実はとっくに終わったんだっけ。
楽しかった花火。引き続きバリバリ働いてね。
Yeah, they're all.
Yeah, none of them are talking to each other.
Yep. Wow, the band might be
Yeah.
destroyed.
Yep.
ね
Potentially.
えナナ、ナナが誰よりも望んでいた取り戻せなかった夏が今ここにあるよ。
So where are you?
10年でも20年でも50年でも。
Yeah. Okay. Wow, that's a go read the manga ending. Like,
Yeah.
that's a good go read the manga ending. Mm-hmm.
Yep, an ending on that shot. Okay.
Yep. Anything else though?
ねえナナ、
Yeah.
You bastards! You end with
Fuck
that!
you, show. Fuck
God
you.
damn!
Fuck you.
That's
That I knew it. I knew they'd pull some shit.
That's-
Some. Yeah.
Yeah.
Fucking assholes.
Oh my god.
Oh shit.
Okay,
That's the end of the series.
the show didn't let us down.
The show did not let us down.
Each time that happiness comes along, bam!
Sucker punch.
Yeah,
Like this was like they loaded up like the fucking
brass
brass
knuckles.
knuckles.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we're just
Uh-huh.
like, and bam, back of the temple.
Right.
Oh
Like,
my god.
that
So I
yeah.
love this because from a characterization standpoint, Nana hadn't moved on.
Right.
So when she realizes that I've got all the pieces set up here, I can make this happen, I am okay with things going as they are. Once that's threatened,
Yep.
and Hachi's like, I'm scared.
There were so many things she
she
could
also-
have said.
Yeah, there's so many things that Hachi could have said, but what I really like is that...
Oh, no, I was talking about
Oh,
Nana.
no. I'm going to get to that for sure. But I feel like what's so painful here is that Hachi kind of processed her own emotion to the point that she understood that it wasn't that she was worried, I would say almost entirely just about seeing Nobuo or Nobu. It's that she's worried about how she feels right now being shown there.
Right.
Because it's going to pull over there, but she attached specifically it to the Nobu aspect because that's true, but it's not the full picture. And in some ways, because of the way that Hachi hasn't fully, grown and moved on from this stuff because of what happened with Shoji, she says it this way, which triggers Nana's fear, and then she's like, okay, I'm revealed that I never cared at all about Nobu. Never cared at all about his feelings. I will throw him entirely under the bus.
Yep.
I will destroy him in your mind even, just so that I can see you.
Right.
And in that moment, I could not believe that, like, the other boys basically weren't, like, fully catching on as to what she was doing. Because did you think that they realized immediately that they were... Because obviously she wanted her to come there and have Nobu there.
So
but,
what she's doing there is she's attempting to manipulate Hachi.
Yes.
To get her to show up, to just basically get what she wants out of the situation.
At its purest, simplest form, yes.
There are a lot of ways that could have ended up happening, and given one of the consequences of the ends justify the means is that also means you don't care how you get there, so you'll do whatever you have to do to get there, but that also means they don't care what you do as long as they end up getting what they want, right? So if Nobu had stayed there with her lie and then it's revealed, Nana lied, right? or whatever, right? Like she still doesn't entirely care. And I think that's part of where them going on ahead and Nobu staying behind in the room, it like thinking of it in the best possible case scenario. Of course, this is what Nana is trying to specifically do, of being like, hey, Nobu, you talk to her. But again, Nana decided to play her hand, right? She had we got to see the ways in which she was making progress in the previous episode.
Yeah.
The ways in which she was acknowledging her own weakness and that she didn't think she had truly changed. And when it came down to it, the decision it wasn't even a decision, right? Like she didn't even have to make it. It was already made, you know?
Yeah.
And I think that is, it definitely hurts, of course, because I want them all to end up happy together. But at the same time, it makes total sense with how Nana is as a character.
Yeah.
I think it is
her fear of abandonment is too deeply rooted in her identity to allow her friends to make mistakes around her, or according to her. Like she would rather have it all under her thumb so that they can never do anything that surprises her or potentially rejects her, and thus.
Okay, I like it. Yeah, I wouldn't have thought about it that way.
Well, she's doing this out of fear for sure, right?
No, absolutely right.
Yeah.
And it's the thing of the, I think there was that part of me that was thinking it was going to go for a happy ending, right? Where it's there will be additional struggles, but hey, we got our happiness, and that's the
that's what I thought too,
the milestone, kind of a thing.
That this would be a hiccup along the way, but the decision to leave Nobu there by himself.
Yeah, like that's worse for Nobu. That's worse for Hachi. That's
it's also worse for
you guys,
Nana.
Yeah,
let's play that out. Actually,
right?
She comes in, right? Nobu lets her in, and is just like, "Hey, Hachi."
Yeah.
Nana has like a few thoughts running through her head immediately. One, why is Nobu here?
Right.
Two, Nana, you lied to me.
Yeah.
Now, what do you think that's going to do for your relationship?
Oh yeah, right. It's so Nana's situation, and I like how this basically feels like a natural extension of the archetype that she is, that we have seen in full detail of exactly why she is that way, right? That punk aesthetic that's like an aesthetic for the band, but it's also an aspect of like who they all are in their own different ways.
Yeah.
And for her specifically,
yeah,
this is one of those ways, right? It's the I'm so afraid of getting hurt, basically, that I must
pretend like I'm invincible.
Pretend like I'm invincible, and as a result of that, if I'm ever in a situation where I feel like I might be compromised,
I'll hurt you first. Yeah.
I'll hurt you first, but also I won't do the thing that scares me because I don't want to be in a place of vulnerability.
No.
Right? And so all of these things that she says that are what she wants to do, she ends up putting it onto Nobu, right? And so when this comes up, yes, she throws Nobu under the bus because of course she does, right?
Yeah, that's how she throws herself under the bus.
Right, exactly. And so,
the projection, like you were saying, was unparalleled.
Yeah, and so to the fact that we get to see
without fathom.
Right. The fact that we get to see that in the future, she's not there. Even Ren ends up, being a regular, shows up and all that stuff.
I love that subtle detail of just like, yeah, where's Ren? Oh, he's, he does his own thing.
Yeah,
meaning
comes
like
along later.
He's not with Nana either.
Right. Like it was not a where's Ren and Nana.
Yeah.
Right. So whether that's because she's dead, whether that's because she just finally realized, oh my God, like the vulnerabilities that are underneath the surface built to a degree that she couldn't face them, and then she runs. Yep. And it's nope, she ran and she kept running, and she's still, alive out there somewhere, but 10, 20, 50 years later, that's not going to change things.
Right.
They'll still put out the yukata for her with the letter.
Yeah, hence why all the narration is done in past tense. It's because we've already split, basically.
Right.
And we haven't seen her in 6-7 years or what have you. And since that time, we've always been wishing that we could go back to the points where we had those connections.
Exactly.
And avoid the terrible, present we're in right now. Yeah.
And so with thinking about the past tense sort of narration with regards to the show, we got to the point where they hit the point where the past tense stuff could have happened, right? With, her getting engaged to Takumi and all that stuff, and leaving the apartment, right?
Yep.
So theoretically, everything could have resolved, right? The apprehension that's set up and all the, this will go badly, theoretically we could be past that. And then here's where they say, no, this is still that story,
right? Point of no return, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And that also...
The mangaka basically committed to an ending here.
Right, exactly. Yeah. And that makes me understand even more so, why, like, on top of all the regular reasons of why perma hiatus, because now you actually have an ending that you need to get to, and the ending is a very dour one. Like, let's be real, right?
Right, and you could get to it through a time skip rather quickly and then continue it from that point if you wanted to.
Yeah. But the effective thing that we're getting at here is that Nana will not change, right?
Or
like, she does not want to change.
Or she does not want to change. I think that's the kind of the big thing here is that
theoretically in the future Nana could change, but it's the don't count on it. She does not want to change, and so
no time in the next 6-7 years,
Right, and so that's and I like that that's being explored because that's something that can be very frustrating from a progress standpoint for characters.
Yeah.
And yet there are people that are absolutely like that. Yeah. And so how do you make that be something that is still engaging along the way as they're not even reluctant protagonist, just fully reluctant, right? Yeah. Like, and that is not something that they're willing to drop because they're holding onto it that tightly to the point where at the end we can get that scene of them just in the car and and the driver is like, oh hey, how'd it go? And it's just nope.
Ready to go for work even harder. And
might as well be a funeral,
dead,
right? Like
quiet.
Like I fully believe that
sundered,
Yeah, like the. And let's be real, that's how it was going to go. I love the way that Yasu and Shin were portrayed to basically be attempting to hold things together. And the degree to which you could say that either they're kind of trying to give pushback to what Nana's doing, but they're also complicit because they're not actually resisting, versus the we understand that she is so dead set on this that we cannot change her mind. So we will
know
try
that
and
we're just protecting
right,
Nobu here.
Exactly. We're basically putting in airbags and padding to minimize the damage, but
she's going to do this no matter what.
She's going to do this no matter what.
I really liked the way in which Yasu in this case was specifically done, because I'll get to Shin. I think he kind of stole the show in a lot of ways, but the way in which Yasu basically is like, hey, like Nana, like you could hear the voice tone being like I'm angry, like not like I'm enraged, but it's the like Nana, like it's the like
stop.
Like there's almost a bit of growl in there, and there's something in Yasu that I've always seen him to be a bit of a different character once we found out that he was in love with Nana. The idea that he's basically also kind of stuck in that regard, and he's also young, so I need to kind of keep that in context, that he's not some wise Buddha who has like attained enlightenment. Yeah, he's, if anything, also been complicit in letting Nana
her shit worked with him completely. He's not going to be leaving, but
never.
But oh hey,
but in some ways
maybe Nana leaves,
right, but in a lot of ways I like that it was the like, hey, like I in some ways can take a lot. Like I can take a lot of things here, but you do not throw that onto somebody who can't defend themselves in this case here.
Yeah.
And in a lot of ways, I was actually almost shocked how little like Nobu got like incensed so late into the conversation. It was something where Nobu also is crushed on Nana quite a bit as well.
Yeah.
So a lot of the things that Nana's giving here are kind of the, oh, I can tell you're trying to set up me and Hachi, and I'm seeing you in the best light. But then once she realizes she's not able to control Nobu here, she starts going into the like, hey, do you mind if I disassemble your entire psyche? Not just in an accusatory way, but also in front of these other two people here.
Yep.
In a way that I would call psychopathic. Like it's something where I would say that there's been times, I feel like most people have felt this moment at some point. Do you ever have someone be really awful or mean to you or someone that you care about, and then in the shower, like later that day, you're like, I found the perfect comeback. Like I'm like, I know what I would have said in response, right? But there's other times where I feel like you're in the shower and you realize like, holy shit, I cannot believe how awful that person was to them. I want to destroy that person. How could you? How could you? It's like the kind of thing where it only happens like, once in a blue moon, because, most people aren't that cruel necessarily.
And if you think that somebody is that cruel, definitely do your due diligence to double check, triple check.
Right. Make sure you're not like, going, off into the deep end on something here. But the desire I've felt at times where someone does something so extremely cruel and I would not call it bullying, but kind of almost a form of like predatory.
Yeah, bullying is too simple.
Right, bullying is too simple. But where you're basically like, I feel like if I was given the opportunity, I could destroy you and break you down and show who you are in like 12 words, Yeah. And that's basically what Nana did off rip.
Yep.
Not with like shower prep time of thinking about, oh, there's an awful person that I want to psychologically destroy.
This was the whether she consciously will admit it to herself or others or not.
Right.
She was keeping this in her back pocket in case she needed it.
Which means it's something that either it's entirely off rip, which is I would say less likely, or it's like you're saying it's I've known Nobu. That this is one of your weaknesses. Because she's right. This is usually how part of this is always so painful, is that she takes basically about 50% of what she said was true.
Right.
And then
if there was no truth, it wouldn't have impact.
Sting,
It'd be like, what?
But it's the thing of where, no, you've let me into those close places. So I'm going to abuse that trust and I'm going to psychologically destroy you here. And yet, it's until that point that then he goes, okay, no, like fuck you, basically. And
I would love to see.
And then he still didn't do anything with her plan here.
Yeah,
he basically did the hero thing, and he fell on his sword and was like, "Fuck, I care so much about Nana or Hachi in this case that I won't do this to her."
Right, and so it ends up being
proud.
this thing where he inadvertently ends up giving Nana basically what she wants, because he cares about Hachi.
Yeah,
and I love how that's basically the setup for how, why Yasu and Shin also are going along with it, because they want to see Hachi, right? The fact that Nana's there too, like it's Nobu and Nana being silent, giving each other the silent treatment in the car, that would totally make sense. Why would there be anything else? But no. It's not just them two. It's all of them, right? Nana knows what she did, right? Like, and the, like, I would love to...
she doesn't feel good about it. I don't think she slightly feels good about it.
But I would love to see a bit more of the internals with regards to Nana about these kinds of things.
That's probably what the manga is for, honestly.
Sure.
Is that...
Because I feel like I have known people like this where they do not play by the same rules as everyone else. And
they believe they're above the rules of empathy and kindness. Yeah.
And so they will call other people out on things, on tiny little things.
Tiny little things, yeah.
And be absolutely hypocritical about the things that they're doing and completely ignore it or justify it or whatever, or not even bother to justify, right? And so I'm curious whether it's something where Nana truly, in that sort of psychopathic kind of way, just does not care, or if it's something where she's.
I was talking about specifically in the malevolence angle.
No, yeah. And so to sort of finish the thought, right?
Okay, cool, yeah.
Whether it's that she truly does not care about how she hurts people, and like just isn't bothered by it, or whether it's in some kind of like ignorant sense where basically she doesn't realize that right makes might because I'm correct in this assessment, and so I'm going to do these things, ignoring or just oblivious to the fact that they could all do the exact same thing to you, Nana, and they don't because they're decent people and they care about you.
Right. I think you're right in that it's the ignorant side of things, because I want to put in the table thing here. There's something that I feel like is just really important to have in context here, is that Nana was scared silly once she heard that Hachi wasn't coming here.
Right.
So that's why I brought up the fear of abandonment thing really early, is that in this moment here, this is Nana's core fear. This is Nana's core fear. That she would not just be rejected by Hachi by basically saying, hey, this person that you thought is kind of the gateway to bringing Hachi back in is actually the person that's making Hachi feel the most scared and nervous about coming here. So then you go, oh, shit. My fear in this moment trumps my care for other people, which is a very important understanding of that it was a trauma response, like specifically, my mother basically did, equivalent of the same thing to me.
Having a freak out makes sense. It's the what do you do afterwards?
Totally. Yeah. Of course. I'm not excusing her thing here. I'm just meaning that in that moment, the amount of faculties that she's working with to make this decision is all instinctual. It's all just, no, Nobu's not here. And so we get almost the idea that in that moment, I don't think Nana was thinking so hard about Nobu's feelings. She's thinking, cool, if you let me spin this, Nobu, I can make everyone happy. We obviously need to solve Hachi's emotional distress here, so I'm going to basically throw you under the bus a little bit. But don't worry, I'm going to set you up so in this next bit here, we'll make this work. Well, then it ends up going rather poorly in terms of Nobu's response to this, which then leads to the actual, really shitty thing that Nana did. And that's why they end up leaving, is because I bet you under a slight bit of circumstances, they pulled Nana away from this situation.
Sure.
Or Nobu told them all to leave and was basically like, I need to sit with my feelings for a second here, and then was resolving over the course of the time to be like, if she shows up, I'm not going to answer the door.
And Nana is leaving because she's thinking, okay, he'll come to the decision, that I want him to, and he doesn't, right? And it's and that's Nobu basically making the
heroic sacrifice.
Yeah,
to tie it in with her.
Yeah, this could absolutely be a theoretical, just specific read on things. That's more my own perspective.
No, I think there's a few good reads you can make out of this. Yeah,
but
they all
basically,
work.
This is effectively Nobu, the point where Nobu actually decides to cut ties.
Oh yeah,
not with Hachi, but with Nana.
Yeah,
right. Where it's the
totally.
She has done this several times before. I've pushed back on it. I've done the things where I stand up for myself and all that stuff, and it doesn't matter to her, right? And so that's where it's the the band's dead, right? This is where it happened. And the thing is that even Nana's whole scheme of hey, I'll set this up, right? It comes from the idea that she can't actually even acknowledge Hachi's feelings because Hachi's feelings of being scared about Nobu being there. Right. She's just seeing it within the filter and the context of this is something that's going to keep me from getting what I want because I want to be around you.
Yes.
As opposed to, it's okay. Yeah, Nobu's here, but
we're going to be there for you.
Yeah, it'll be okay.
Yeah,
just,
we're your family.
Come on, we're family.
Let's do this like family, yeah.
Yeah, and whatever you need,
Yeah.
We're here for you.
But because you're right that, yes, she cares more about her feelings than Hachi's, that's how she
and so,
in the lens of things.
It's whether it's the, I'm going to, make it so that then the thing that she was worried about happening ends up happening for her under worse circumstances because she's sidelined by it or blindsided by it.
Right.
Or just the, yeah, and now Nobu whatever and all that stuff it's
and then of course all the other boys are like, well, we want to make Hachi feel better here, and so we're going to go there and we're going to go along with this. But then at some point in between now and the story's ending, basically, this all gets communicated on some level. Maybe not every single tiny detail, but the gist of it does.
Yep.
Nana ends up splitting off, and basically as a form of saying, hey, Nana, even after everything here, we still consider you family.
Right, so we will always have a place for you.
Please come home. We will always have a place for you forever.
Yep.
It doesn't matter what you've done. We still love you. And I think that that's the most beautiful way you can have the happy, somber ending is that, Nana ended up splitting off from everybody. There's probably some details that they'll get into in the manga, but the main gist of it is the ending is, hey, we're all family. Takemi's not here. Ren's on his way, but he's doing his own thing, which also hints at some things that Ren didn't necessarily quit. But
I wasn't even thinking about that.
Well, basically the idea that Ren is
his addiction will absolutely get worse as a result of whatever happens.
Totally, but the idea that he is not feeling like a member of this family, so he's not here at the earlier times and stuff like that.
Or at the very least, maybe the more time that he spends here is time that he's thinking about the fact that Nana's not here. Right,
or
any number of things. But that is a fun specific bit of the his situation is different than the others.
Right.
And so naturally it makes sense that in the Where Are They Now, this situation will continue to be different.
Right.
One of the things that I got to say I also really find poetic is that given that this is basically Nana's whole thing has been wanting to keep people close to her, right? Keep her garden.
Yeah, so she's never abandoned again.
Right,
Yeah.
exactly. And at the end, it's no, she's alone because, ostensibly assuming she's still alive, she's off by herself, right? And is not willing to come into the home, right? And, the idea that all ties back into maybe because it's oh no, I'm a terrible person. I would rather not trust in the goodness and acceptance of you guys because then that could be something that could be taken away from me. And so instead, I'll try and get comfortable with being alone, which theoretically is a kind of like growth in a way.
And it also, it could be that. And it also could be I don't trust myself to be around you all and that I won't hurt you all again.
Right. Any number of things.
Yeah.
And another thing that I want to bring up. So, on the outset with the way with starting the show and how it is set up and being aware okay, right, there's a hiatus thing and all that stuff, but also early 2000s non-straight romance, right? I know the whole way that those things often went, where it's we can't actually have the characters end up together, and so there would be various different the actual canon ending is here, but because we're not supposed to have them actually end up together, then we'll add another chapter where no, they aren't together, it was a phase or whatever, and then they whatever.
Yeah, that is really common back then. Yeah,
but having it be something where the reason that we're going to make it so that they don't actually end up together is because of the fact that basically one of the characters has problems that are so deeply ingrained in that they're holding on to so tightly that they cannot let themselves. That
I applaud this show for that.
Yeah, I applaud the decision to go into that, right? And to fully commit to it, where it's
fully commit.
It
defines the ending of the whole series.
Exactly. And so of course this makes for a very fitting ending to the anime, even though the manga continues, because while I am upset by this ending and I wish that Nana would, not have done what she did and all of this stuff and we could get the happy ending. Right. I understand where it's coming from and everything, so it's okay, cool.
It's been properly built up for forever.
I can't be deeply upset by it, even though I'm no, we were so close,
Yeah, I'm upset at the fictional character for the decision they make, but I'm not upset at the creator for having the fictional character make this decision.
This isn't some Deus Ex wrench we have to make things go badly in order to, keep drumming up conflict. No. It was there was we were rooting for this to go differently. There was a fork in the
road, and we knew both options could very much be one that comes
Nana
about.
has consistently chosen the bad option, right? And so
in a lot of ways, we've had specific moments throughout the series where she made that option.
Yep.
And I love then that creates the drama where a lot of the other characters' flaws get put on more display because they're not capable of confronting Nana in a way that close friends do. They just aren't, because either Nana has not actually given up her desire to be invulnerable and or pretend like she's vulnerable with them when she's really not, and thus
they do not have permission.
Right. Yeah. And that's a fun way of, I would say, playing almost too hard into her archetype as well.
Possibly,
the idea that no, she didn't just become the superstar, superheroine girl
that she hoped she would.
Yeah. She failed. She dropped the ball. And that probably destroyed her internally. Because at some point she figured it out. She's like, wait, it's me. I'm the problem.
I'm the common denominator.
I'm the common denominator.
Yeah.
And yet there were many points in which people around you gave you really good opportunities to pull on them.
Yep.
And in some ways, Ren is the fun character that could be the side that we explore with that. But because of how maybe in some ways his own flaw helped keep things from going this way, he so desperately needed someone like Nana that Nana never felt like she could be completely open with him about this stuff, and thus they kept that slight thin wall that just gave them that slight enough of a divide that
because in
their relationship couldn't progress either.
Because if Nana wanted to have the decision of, hey, I'm not going to be vulnerable like with any of my friends and things like that, that's a decision that she's making. Like, okay, you're going to make that decision. That comes at a cost, but okay. But then with regards to Ren, where it's the, hey, you need to be able to be vulnerable around someone. This is the one person where this is where you should be able to do it, right? But because of her own, like, and it becomes almost the defining characteristic of their relationship, because she's so worried about a different thing that's a vulnerability of hers, right? About the band and the, whether she's true to herself, right? She's still not able to actually be vulnerable with him, right? Not really, not in the places where maybe she needs to be. And it's, I love that the show goes into this because, like, I don't know, like, what your sort of experiences with this have been, but that point where maybe you have, like, friends, right?
Okay.
And then you have the point where it's the, oh, are we actually going to be, like, vulnerable around each other, right? Like that kind of, like, line that you cross where it's like, this is a person that I get along with really well.
I feel like they're not like friends at that point then. They're more like
good acquaintances?
Good acquaintances. That's not really friends then. Because I feel like one of the defining characteristics of friends is that you become vulnerable with them. Like, they're not really then friends. They're just people you see. Like, you see frequently. A great example of this, I would say, is in the way in which people talk about their problems. I think every human desires to have some people that they commiserate with. And there's a difference between just talking about, oh, I'm dealing with this shitty situation right now, versus this is the way I feel about this shitty situation. Like the actual talkings of I feel, versus this thing happened. You know?
This is the place that I'm scared to go, right? But I'm going to be open about it.
Or just talking about and being expressive about the actual, like, inner feelings that they're going through because of this thing. A notable physical example of this is that a lot of people will, like, have comfortability being able to, like, break down emotionally.
Sure.
Like, that's that kind of vulnerability. Now, that's a very extreme physical example, but I'm talking, like, it could be also just, like,
the place where that comes from.
Yeah, and at the very least being able to talk about it. So I would say that there's different kinds of friendships, obviously, so not everything has to go in a certain way.
Sure.
But I don't think there's, like, an on-off switch with vulnerability.
Totally.
Yeah.
Because I know there have been times for myself where, like, I consciously let someone into that space and see that side of me, right? That's the uncomfortable, vulnerable side and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And then there's the times where that kind of happens and I don't feel like it was done in a way where I sort of had control
safe.
of what was going on.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so then that makes it then even more like, oh, wait, hang on. It's the, like, suddenly I'm naked, kind of a thing, right?
Yeah, and I think the idea of, being naked in front of people that weren't, ready for that specifically, that's a very realistic feeling, and it's something that I think happens a lot when people misjudge the level of connection that they have with a specific people group or friend or what have you. So, I definitely think that happens a lot. But I don't know if it's a threshold that's crossed specifically with friends, or if it's more the, hey, we're friends at this point, like you've already seen me at this kind of point
exactly.
And stuff like that. It's more the, we're just gonna dial up the type of vulnerability, I would say,
Sure, yeah. There have been those little bits of vulnerability, and so, okay, here, now I'll consciously be vulnerable about this thing, because,
Right, we've already shown that we're good with
comfortable with that.
So yes, I would say that I might be getting into the semantics of it here by saying that it's not, it's a difference between good acquaintances and friends, but there's times when someone takes a risk, basically.
Yeah.
Someone initiates it where they're like, I don't know, actually, if they're going to respond well to this.
Sure.
A great example I've had with this is basically the giving someone the opportunity to let me know, like, if they're having, like, a really, like, shitty day, basically. I think that a lot of people will ask, especially in the U.S., like, how are you doing? like, what's up?
Yeah.
Like, how's going on? And most people will give that as mostly like a greeting. They're not genuinely like interested in hearing that kind of stuff there.
Yeah.
But if
or
I
there's
can,
a threshold, like as long as it's not too
right.
crazy.
But
you know?
I'll sometimes do a thing where I can tell, oh, they're definitely not doing well and they're just putting up a thing. I'll be like, hey, if you want to talk about like some stuff you got going on, like, feel free. Like I'm here. I'm your friend. And it's basically the, oh, okay, yeah, I'm dealing with blah, 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 blah.
Right.
And I feel like that's when you just kind of give someone the heads up, like, hey, you know we're friends, right? Like, you can talk to me about whatever. Like, it's not going to, ruin our friendship or anything like that. And that's kind of the moment I feel like that some people might be at different levels in the way they perceive the relationship.
Sure.
So someone might be like, no, feel like I'm your friend. And the other person's like, oh, I don't know that for sure. Because of either there being no vulnerability in certain areas,
right.
or
well, and like this show is wonderful. I feel like it's made me rethink, how I approach relationships and stuff so many times.
Yeah,
and I feel like this is another one of those examples where Nana has issues with vulnerability, makes sense, and yet how many times, right, is the determining factor of like, do I feel comfortable being vulnerable about this person? Have they been vulnerable, maybe in not quite the same way, but have they been vulnerable with me? If they haven't, then it's like okay, maybe that's something they're not necessarily desiring. And yet the thing is that Nana wants people to be able to be vulnerable with her, right?
Yeah.
When that happens and Hachi is vulnerable with her, she loves it, she craves it, she needs it.
Yeah, because she feels like, oh, wait, this person genuinely wants to be with me. They genuinely desire myself. They desire me, and
oh my God, that's fantastic.
The idea of being abandoned is the feeling of like, oh, I was unwanted.
Right.
So if someone shows that vulnerability with her, then it's they want my presence. They want me in a deep way.
And yet she won't let it go the other direction, because then it's more of the
not as much for sure.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm actually asking for that thing that I deeply need, rather than just, okay, if it happens to happen.
And then she can get rejected if
she
exactly.
Asks. Yeah.
There's actually a really good bit of psychology. I don't remember who this was that talked about it, but basically there's an element of where rejection and being rejected is actually one of the most powerful tools you can practice with regards to building your own self-love and self-confidence.
Sure.
And
okay.
there's certain jobs, environmental situations, types of practices you can do that build your resilience toward rejection, because the rejection is one of the strongest emotional and mental fears that people have, like just across all boundaries, barriers, and all that. So the idea that if you can do things that build your resilience to where tiny little rejections don't emotionally like affect you as much, because you're like, oh yeah, I've been rejected 500 times or what have you, it will help you on other surprisingly different things in such an incredible way.
And it really is fantastic. The thing that, as far as personal Jacob experience, right, there was a point in my life where I started to do that, because I'm like, oh, okay, that's something that would be helpful to have. The thing is that I didn't realize that it stopped being rejection after a point, because it was rejection in the literal mechanical sense,
right?
But I wasn't actually risking anything. I wasn't actually being vulnerable. It wasn't actually something that I necessarily truly deeply desired or anything like that. And so if a rejection happened,
it was just a game.
It was just a game.
Yeah.
And so then when it came to actually then getting rejected, then it was like this whole thing where like in certain cases it was fine, and in other cases it's like, I've never experienced this before, right? Because I was preemptively putting armor on myself before I went in, so that I wasn't actually being vulnerable.
Look how much I defend myself.
Yeah. And it's that same kind of thing that Nana's doing here, right? And so it's
the
like
whole thing of going to play a Dark Souls or Elden Ring kind of game where you're like, I'm literally going to take off all my armor and I'm going to beat this boss without getting hit. And it's like, oh, that's actual vulnerability, because you're like, if you get hit once, you're fucking dead.
Right.
Like you are actually risking something here.
Exactly, right? And so it's I'm still like, it's this fantastic thing where, because Nana's struggle is something that is so like fundamental, I feel like, even though she's doing a bunch of things that make her incredibly unlikable and is absolutely rejecting progress, which is something that audiences tend to find very engaging. You know, it would be very easy for Nana to just be a character that was not interesting, right? Where it's the, okay, and now I check out, I'm not really wanting to see her story. And yet, because it's something where it's like, no, I know when I've been you, Nana.
Oh,
I
we've
know,
all been Nana.
We have all
yeah.
been Nana,
Oh,
and we
yeah.
are all in many ways still Nana. And so it's the constant, consistent, ongoing effort in order to make sure that we can do this is why it's important to watch this show and why we can still be like, you know, hey, 10, 20, 50 years, the yukata is still there, right? This will always be your home. And so, yeah, what a wonderful
Beautiful.
way to end the show. And God damn it, no, manga, but then the manga doesn't end. And
Yeah. But all right, y'all. Next show's coming up will be Space Brothers. I've been desiring this show for a long time.
Oh, yeah.
We had a poll for it a long time ago, back when we started Nana.
Yep.
So that has now been decided to be the replacement show for Nana. So if you want to see the first episode's reaction to that right now, go check out the link in the description below for our Patreon. You can get on early access there. You can watch full-length timer reactions there, and any level of support there gets you access to our Discord, where you can chat with us in the community there about Nana, Space Brothers, other anime, or what have you. And also be sure to check out our Twitch channel. So yeah, if any of that interests you, we'll see you there. But until then, we're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we'll see you all
Next time.